Inhale, dip the spine, looking forwards. 2 more if you can, yogis. Exhale, arch the spine. Inhale, dip the spine, looking forwards. Should we do 1 more? Exhale, arch the spine. Inhale, dipping the spine. Wonderful. So that's a great way of warming the spine up. And now I'd like you to practice a half downward dog with me. So let's curl the toes under, separate the knees, push the bottom back towards the heels, and then with the arms straight, bringing the forehead down. And that stretches the whole of the spine. We get a lovely stretch in the spine, lengthening the arms, and pushing our bottom back towards our heels, really observing the stretch in the upper back here. And taking 2 deep breaths in this half downward dog. Aim for another deep breath in and out if you can. And then slowly come back onto all fours, back into tabletop. Now we're really ready. Our spine is warmed up, it's been stretched for downward facing dog, the full version if you can. So I'm going to raise my hips, bring my feet so they're hip width apart, and do bend the knees if you need to, but arms are strong and I've loaded the weight into both hands and both feet. And I'm going to walk the dog, patting one heel back and down as I breathe in, patting the other heel back and down as I breathe out. And I want to gaze towards my thighs. And absolutely fine, yogis, if this is very strong, to keep your knees bent, walking the dog, patting one heel back and down, and then the other. Let's take 1 more deep breath in and out after this. Here we go, breathing in, breathing out. And now very gently, let's carefully come back down onto all fours. So if you were able to do a few of those, well done. It's not an easy stretch, and we'll be doing a few more throughout this mindful practice to get the body a little bit more prepared and ease out some of that tension in the spine. So we'll come back to that in a later moment. Let's again carefully pick up the left leg, bring it forwards, stretching once more into the right thigh. And as your hands rest here, just be aware of the stretch in the right hip and the right thigh. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out here. And then I want you, if you can, to place both hands at either side of the left foot, tuck the toe of the right foot under, and come into a low lunge by just seeing if you can raise the right thigh off the floor and reach back through the right heel, dropping the head and taking a deep breath in and out. And then going to place the right knee down, because that's quite strong, and carefully bring both feet together. Exhale, I fold down again, and do bend the knees if you need to. I'm back in that forward bend, stretching my hamstrings. So again, if that's really tight, keep the knees bent, that's fine. And then together, let's inhale, raise the arms, come up and gently back. And exhale, palms together. Well done, yogis. Now let's just raise that camera. Well done. That is one side of your downward dog, one side of your sun salutation you've done. And we're now going to do the left side to complete an entire round. There's about 10 poses in here. So remember that by the time we've done the left side, you may have done up to 20 or even 22 poses. And it's the best way to energize and open the body. We're doing it mindfully. What does that mean? It means we're doing it slowly, with awareness, and we're not just sort of throwing ourselves into shape or doing the poses mechanically. We are taking time and we're holding the poses a lot longer. So it gives us that mindful perspective, but it also means if this is quite new to you, if you find the poses quite challenging, there's plenty of time to go slow and do them together. All right, so let's do the left side. And again, I just want to show you what we're going to do.
So we always start with the prayer position, hands at the prayer position in the center of the chest, and do come to the top of your mat. I've simply turned to the other side so you can see all the poses on my left side clearly and do them with me. We're doing these together, aren't we? So coming to the top of the mat, hands in the prayer position, gazing ahead. And again, just give yourself one deep breath in and out here so that you can just take stock of what you're doing and remember to bring your awareness back to the breath, okay? So a deep breath in and send that energy downwards as you breathe out, all the way down to our heels. And then we're going to inhale again, raise the arms up in what we call the upward salute, saluting to our sun. And then as we exhale, we fold down. And again, I'm going to move the camera so that you can see those poses clearly. So we exhale down like we did on the other side, holding onto the front of the legs. That can maybe the knees or just below the knees ideally, the shins and ankles. And if you can straighten the legs, great. But if you need to keep the knees bent, absolutely fine to do that. Take a deep breath in and out here. And very carefully, I'm going to take my left leg back now and my left knee down. So all we've done, yogis, is simply switch sides. Now resting the front foot, that's the left foot on the floor, I can then come up into the lunge and rest my hands on my right thigh, okay? So now I can feel the stretch in my left hip flexors. I can gaze ahead and roll the shoulders back, and I can take at least one more deep breath in and out here. Being aware of that deep stretch in the thigh. And of course, helping to open up my hips as well if they're tight. Then I can come back onto all fours. Now we did our cat-cows, but this time we're going to try the cat-cow balance, okay? So we come onto all fours. And this time I want you to just have a go at raising the left arm to ear height, looking down, so finding a point of focus on your mat, and then carefully raising the right leg. So I'm raising alternate arm and leg. What's really important is to load the weight into the right palm here, yogis. So spread the weight across the right hand that's on the floor, direct the energy across the body because we're going for a diagonal stretch, raising the left arm and the right leg, and take another deep breath from the midline, that's the belly. So breathing from the belly and spread that breath across the body, and then come down. Well done. Should we try the other side? So this time we spread the weight into the left hand, the palm, and we're going to raise the right arm and the left leg. And again, I engage my tummy muscles, the core, I pull them in softly, nothing too harsh. And I'm stretching across my body from the fingertips of the right hand all the way out to the left heel. I'm pushing my left heel against an imaginary wall, so flexing the toes downwards, pointing them down. And again, receiving a deep stretch across my body as I breathe. Just notice in your own body, yogis, does one side feel easier? Very often it can do. And then come down, back onto all fours. Well done. Well, we're going to curl the toes under, and if that balance felt quite strong, please don't worry. We're going to do several balances in this practice, standing as well. So we'll have a go together. So I'm back into my tabletop position on all fours. I've tucked the toes under, and I'm ready now for my second inversion, my second go at downward dog. So I'm going to inhale and raise my hips, keep my knees and feet apart. And again, my arms are strong. Keep the knees bent, remember, if you need to. If your knees are very bent, please don't worry. I'd rather you focused on raising the hips towards the ceiling, keeping the knees bent. Let's walk the dog together. Pad one heel back and down as you breathe in, and pad the opposite heel back and down as you breathe out. Gaze, if you can, towards the knees or upper thighs. Relax the head and neck. And let's hold for 3 breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in again, breathing out. And then for the last one, a nice deep breath in and out. Come down slowly onto all fours. Good. Well done, yogis. Very carefully, Step that right foot forwards again, back into the lunge. Again, receiving a stretch in the left hip, the left thigh. Hands resting on the right hip. Roll the shoulders back and gaze ahead. Take a deep breath in and out here. And then a hand at either side of the foot. We're going to tuck the toe under the left foot now and raise the leg and reach the left heel back as we drop the head. Now we're stretching more deeply into our left hip, stretching and strengthening our left thigh. Enjoy a deep breath in and out here, yogis. Place that left knee down carefully. Come forwards. Bring both feet together and gently exhale to fold down. Again, notice if the hamstrings, the backs of the legs, feel any easier, but obviously keep those knees bent if you need to. Absolutely fine to do that. Let's together do this now. We're going to inhale, raise up, arms come up and gently back. And again, let's do that together. Here we go. Inhale, raising up and gently back, opening the body, and we exhale, palms back into prayer pose. Well done. Now I'm going to ask you to join me in another round, but this time, when we do this round, we're actually going to do some exercises for the shoulders and neck. So I'll incorporate 2 more sun salutes, warming and energizing, but also adding some shoulder work, which is what I did with the group earlier this morning. Now, if you're feeling tight and tense, very often we'll hold the tension, won't we, in the shoulders, classically in the neck, but also in the low back. They can be 3 strategic areas where many of us will find they're tight. So what we're going to do is I'm going to incorporate some mindful stretching into the neck, shoulders, but it'll also influence the low back. And I really hope if those areas are tight for you, that we can go and I can go some way into helping you alleviate some of that, okay? So let's go again. Remember, these poses are strong. That's why we do them slowly. So we come back to the top of our mat again. The rest of our mat is free. So you can see the positioning. Hands again in the prayer position. Take a deep breath in and out here. Allow yourself a moment to center, to recenter, and then let's go together. We're going to inhale, come up and gently back again, opening the front of the body. Exhale, folding forwards and down. And again, let me move that camera so that you can see all the work we're going to do on the mat. So here we are again. Perhaps we need to bend the knees, holding onto the front of the legs or fingers if they can, in alignment with the toes, and just observing that stretch in those hamstrings, the back of the body once more, yogis. Take a deep breath in and out there. And then with great care, step the right leg back and place the right knee on the mat. Good. Now we're going to add a little bit of a stretch here. You can see I've tucked, again, the toes under, but then I straighten that leg and I'm back into my hips. It's quite a deep stretch. But I want you to be able to see just what we're going to do as well in this twist. So here we go. You stay where you are, but so you can see me now. We're going to raise the arms up and the palms are going to be facing one another. So as I sweep my arms up, they're facing one another and I lunge a little deeper. So now I'm stretching into my torso and I can look up or I can simply look forwards. But I'm really getting a lovely stretch in my ribs, breathing deeply. One more full breath in and down we come. And then I want you to come back onto all fours and have another go at your diagonal stretch, okay? Never ever is it, sort of too easy to just sort of say, oh, I'm not going to try that, it's hard. But I want you to have another go. So again, stretch the right arm forwards, the left leg back. The more you practice, the easier these poses will become with time and patience. And if you wanted to go a little deeper, bending that left knee, bringing the right hand around to grasp hold of the foot if you can, and then pushing the foot into the hand and looking up. Now we're in what's known as balancing the cat. My left arm is strong. I lift the heart joyously. Now, if that's too strong, then simply stay in that first balance with the leg and arm extended, alternate arm and leg extended. And then release. Should we have a go on the other side? So I'm going to raise my right leg now and my left arm. I load the weight into the right palm. Hold and breathe. Then I'm going to have a go, if I wish to, bend the right knee. Take the left hand round, clasp hold of the foot, pushing in and raising the chest joyously, enjoying the stretch. And release. And we're back into tabletop. Well done. We're going to try our downward dog again. So if you're tired, just stay for a few breaths. I'm going to advise you to stay for between 3 breaths and up to 5, between 3 and 5. Anywhere in between is fine. Back onto all fours, tucking the toes under, breathing in and up we come. There we go. We're back into our downward dog. Perhaps our knees are bent, that's fine. But let's just work one side a little deeper. Let's raise that right leg behind us as high as we can. Doesn't have to be particularly high, yogis. This is where we need to keep our shoulders and hips squared to the front and loading the weight into the left leg. Really feeling my arms working. Great stretch for my left hamstring. Hold for another deep breath in. Exhale, come down. And then carefully come back onto all fours. And sit back for a moment and just make some little rotations with your wrists in both directions, because there's a lot of loading on the wrist when we're just holding one leg in the air. And as I said, we're going to do some shoulder work now before we finish the sun salute. So let me show you what we're going to do. And I've lowered that camera again so that you can see. So from here, we're going to thread the needle. We've come down from our downward dog on the right side, and I'm going to take my right hand and thread it through my left. So my right hand, your right hand, thread it through your left arm and come all the way down and rest your right cheek and your right shoulder on the mat, like mine, with your right arm extended. With your left arm, bring it around the back of the waist so that the top left shoulder is open. And rest, if you can, your right forehead, your right cheek, your right shoulder on the mat. And take some deep breaths here. Now, if this arm doesn't come round the side of the waist, then rest it here. Just rest it on the side of the hip. And the aim is to dissolve the tension in the right shoulder, in the right side of the cheek, and just take several deep breaths into the stretch. This is great if your shoulders and neck are tight. Really helps to dissolve some of the tension there. Hold and breathe. And then very carefully coming back onto all fours and relaxing there. Good, well done. So we'll do the left side when we come back, okay? But for now, bring the right foot forwards again. Come back into the lunge position and then take the hands onto the floor. So this is the right leg that's there. And then tuck the toe under of the left foot and come back into that lunge for a moment. And although it's the left hip that's stretching, you can definitely feel both hips working here. And just notice, this is the third time you've gone into this lunge, if it feels any easier. Don't hold for too long, but do take a deep breath in. Exhale, release that left knee down. And then however you do this, very carefully coming forwards, both feet together,
and folding down. And again, an opportunity to breathe into those hamstrings. Take a deep breath in and out as you fold forwards, yogis. Soft knees. Inhale, rising up and gently back. And back into the prayer position. That's it. So well done. Now we've got one more side to do, and that'll be 4 sun salutes. And we'll add that second shoulder stretch on the left side to this last one. So hang on in there and remind yourself that these poses are strong, and that's why we're taking our time and pacing ourselves accordingly. But if it's too much, please stop, skip if you need to, go and grab a cuppa and just join me when you're ready, okay? So the left side now, yogis. This is the last side for your sun salute. Coming to the top of your mat, hands at the prayer position. Take a deep breath in and out here. A deep breath in and out. That's it. Take a deep breath in and out. Hopefully you can all hear me. I hope you can. Yeah, that's good. There, hopefully you can all hear me now, okay? We had a little problem there. And we're going to inhale, come up, exhale all the way down, and take that left leg back now. Left knee down, okay? Left knee down, and hands resting on the thigh, looking forwards. Again, that lovely stretch here. And we're going to inhale and raise both arms again. We can look up or forwards, stretching the torso, getting the deep stretch in the left hip, pelvis is opening, two-way stretch. If you're looking up, just take care of the back of the neck, look forwards if you prefer. Exhale, coming down. And we come back onto all fours, okay? Coming back onto all fours. There we go. And we're going to have a little practice again of our balance, okay? So very gently, just this time, what I want you to do is take your left arm, your left elbow, and bring it towards the right knee that you could bring in, and then straighten. Bring the left elbow to the right knee again, and straighten. Once more, left elbow to right knee, all the weight in the right palm, woo, and straighten. And we switch sides. So all the weight now on the left hand, right elbow to left knee, and straighten. Right elbow to left knee, and straighten. Last time, right elbow to left knee, straighten. Down we go. Let's try that again. Left elbow to right knee, and straighten. 3 of those. Left elbow to right knee, almost rounding the back here, and lengthen. And again, left elbow to right knee, curving the spine, and straighten. Good. Last time, right elbow to left knee, and straighten, looking down, keep the back of the neck long, breathing in, breathing out. Yes, last time. Right elbow to left knee, and straighten, really strengthening for the arms. Come down and stretch the arms forwards, yogis. Tuck the toes under, or just rest the feet, open the knees, and sit back in that extended pose of the child. Let me just move again so you can see. There we go. So what I've done is I've opened the knees, give my back a rest and my wrists after that, and stretch the arms forwards, forehead down, hold and breathe. Enjoy 4 resting breaths, yogis, here. Knees nice and wide, belly soft, extending the arms and breathing deeply. Yes, well done. And sitting up for a moment. And that just gives us, doesn't it, a few moments, a few breaths, because we're doing strong work in between those more dynamic poses,
especially that one where I was asking you to go across your body, that was working deeply and requiring strength from you. And it gives you a pause, mindful pause, to just stop, rest before you go into another dynamic pose. And that's really what mindful yoga is about. It's about pausing, being aware of all the sensations from the last pose, just acknowledging that sensation and then moving on. So a much more mindful approach, which this is. So now we're prepared for the downward dog again, where we're going to raise the left leg off the floor and be in what's known as three-legged dog, which requires strength in our arms as we raise the left leg off the floor. And it gives a very deep stretch to the right hamstring. Do have a go if you can with me, okay? Even if you manage one breath, well done. It is a strong stretch, so just see how you go. All of these poses, I would say between 5 breaths and 3, between 3 breaths and 5, and anywhere in between is great. So I'm back in the tabletop. I curl the toes under, up I go. There we go. Okay, so I establish the pose, take a deep breath, and then very carefully, if you can, we're going to have a go at raising the left leg. So all my weight now is on my right leg. You might need to bend the knee, that's fine. My arms are strong, and I'm aiming to keep my shoulders and hips square. That's not easy, but as best I can, all the weight in the arms and that right leg. Gaze towards the right knee or thigh, hold for several deep breaths, up to 2 more if you can. Now that's enough, certainly for me. Stay a little longer if you wish to, but again, be mindful, it's a strong stretch. Do release, back onto all fours. Sit back on your heels, yogis, sit up, and again, just explore the sensations from the pose. Allow yourself a resting breath. Great work, okay. And now what we're going to do is very carefully bring the right foot forwards for the last time. So again, we're stretching into the left hip, so it's the right foot that's forwards, left knee on the floor. And I'm going to gather all my energy and raise the arms up once more. Look up or forwards. Palms are facing one another, shoulder width apart. And again, delicious stretch there, but not for long. Hands come at either side. I tuck the toe under, and for the last time, stretch and reach my left leg back. As I drop the shoulder, I can feel the stretch. Just a deep breath in and out. Lower the knee down. Now, I'm going to come back onto all fours, because this is where I'm going to put in that shoulder stretch. Do you remember on the left? So what you'll need to do is come on to all fours again. And this time we're going to thread the needle quite late on in this practice. Left arm threading through the right. So your left hand threading through the left arm. Take the left shoulder down on the floor if you can, and the cheek. And you can always have a cushion underneath here or a blanket, and wrap the right arm around, okay? And now what I want to do, so that you can see that, is I want to imagine that this left cheek, this left shoulder is melting into the floor. I've tucked the toes under, but sometimes people like to have their feet flat, kneeling. And as I close my eyes, I can just envisage almost as if my left shoulder and cheek are melting and merging into the floor like butter. Aim to hold, if you can, for 2 more deep breaths. Good, lovely. And carefully bring the right arm forwards, make a tripod with the fingers, push the hand into the floor to bring you back up onto all fours. Great stuff. And then very gently, we're going to come to standing from here. So 1 foot forwards and the other. Again, just folding forwards for a moment. Again, be aware of the stretch in the back of the body. Inhale, bent knees, and rise up slowly. All the way to standing. There we go. Rising up and palms together. Well done, yogis. Now do shake out the arms and legs a little. There's a lot of work there. Roll the shoulders back several times and forwards. And because I want us to work on the shoulders a little bit more, we're going to do a little bit more work there. But before we do that, let's just take a stretch into the side body. So how about a nice triangle here? Let's pop a triangle in. So take the legs wide for me, as wide as you can comfortably go, with both toes and ankles facing forwards. All the toes, both ankles forwards. Right foot's turned out, left foot turned in. Arms to shoulder height. Breathing in, and just take yourself over to the right. Right hand just below the right knee. Palm of the left arm facing forwards. And I want you to look forwards rather than up, with the intention of keeping the front of your body really open here. Okay, so looking forward so the neck has a rest. And then very gently, if you can, try and bring that top arm to meet the top ear. What a stretch for the side body now. Bend the front knee if you need to. Even come up a little if it feels strong. Make sure your low back feels comfortable with the stretch. If it doesn't, stay in triangle. This is a different, more dynamic version if you want to go that little bit deeper. Hold and breathe. And then come up nice and slowly and release. Good work, yogis. Let's switch sides. So again, keep it wide if you can. We're going to bend the left knee now and turn the right foot in 45 degrees. Back leg is straight. Front knee can stay bent. Arms to shoulder height. We check their level. Breathing in. Now we're going to straighten the front leg if we can. And firstly, come into Trikonasana, the triangle. Notice that my left hand is on the shin, not the elbow. I don't want to place any undue pressure in my knee. And looking forwards means that your head and neck are going to be a lot more relaxed. So gazing ahead like me and keeping the front of the body open and the legs straight and strong. And then if you wish to, taking the top arm and just pinning it towards the ear, keeping the body straight, keeping the front of the body open, and feel the power of the stretch. If this is too strong, simply go back into triangle, please. Don't strain. Aim for 2 more deep breaths. Good. We're going to inhale, come up. And we're going to exhale and relax. Fantastic. Well done, yogis. Now let's just bring the legs in. Carefully walk or zigzag them in. Give them a little shake. Well done. Now we're going to practice a balance here. I did say that we'd leave 5 minutes for our breathing relaxation at the end. But before that, should we try a balance? And again, I'd like you to go towards a wall or a heavy back chair. Make sure it is a heavy back chair you're using to balance. But a wall is great. And a wall where there's nothing that you're going to go into. So let me bring you a little closer. And let's use the wall. So here we are, yogis. Hopefully you're feeling a bit warmer. And a few more minutes just to practice some balances now. So the wall is a great place to start. So if you turn sideways, holding onto your wall, inside leg is going to be the standing leg. And with your outside leg, just bend it and straighten. And bend and straighten. And do that 5 times. The inside leg is the straight and strong leg. Okay? So let's do that together. Bend the outside knee and straighten. Bend the outside knee and gently straighten. 3 more. Inhale, that's it. Exhale. So we're just getting used to standing on one leg. Strong though, isn't it? Yeah? Once more. Great. Now what I want you to do is release and simply switch sides, okay? So this time, turning to the other side, hand on the hip, it's the outside leg, the opposite leg now. I'm going to look ahead, keep it tall, bend the knee and straighten. Bend the knee, all the weight stacked into the standing leg. 3 more if you can. Inhale. Exhale. Good. 2 more if you can. Breathing in, breathing out. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Lovely work. Take it down. Shake those legs. Have a moment, shake the body. Release the energy. And notice if you're tired that you are taking the weight onto one leg. So naturally, there's a lot of energy used there. So one thing I want to say is breathe. Often when we're concentrating, we'll suspend the breath. But breathe even, breathe deep. Don't suspend the breath, okay? Right, let's go back to the first side again. And I'll lower the camera. Now this time, again, inside leg is the standing leg. I'm using the wall. Simply raise the knee, straighten, hand on the hip, ignite the tummy muscles and hold that if you can for 3 breaths. And release. Good work, yogis. Let's switch sides. Excuse me. I simply switch sides. The wall is there to help us today. Inhale, bend that knee. Exhale, straighten, stacking the weight on the inside leg. And as I gaze ahead, I'm fully aware of trying to keep my spine tall, not leaning back or forwards, but using the wall to aid me as I raise the outside leg, gaze ahead and keeping the tummy strong. Hold for another breath. And release. Good. And shake out those legs. Well done. Well, the final part of this balance is again by the wall. So let me show you where I'd like you to place your feet. Using the back of the wall, we're now going to try Vrksasana. So the sole of the right foot is resting on the inner left calf and my right knee is bent. Both hands are against the wall, which means I can hold this balance freely and easily for at least 3 slow breaths. Do just check in, yogis, that you only take the sole of the foot just below the knee. Don't push into the knee joint. And now we're back into our hips and our knees. And I'm using the wall. Now today, maybe I feel confident in taking one hand away and resting it on the heart center. Perhaps both hands gently resting and coming into the prayer position. But if you're wobbly, then keep one hand there and one on the heart center. So you're just starting to establish mindfully the practice of balance. Gaze ahead and hold, if you can, for two more deep breaths. Use the wall if you need to. It's absolutely fine to be here and still enjoy the practice of a balance. And then carefully bring the knee in, straighten and relax the leg. And again, just shake it out. Shall we try the other side? Our legs are getting a bit more used to it now, but they may feel heavy and tired. And that's why we're still using the wall. And that's why it's so nice, because if balances are really tricky for you, you can do all this with me simply by using the wall. So left leg is bent. Again, sole of the foot just below the right knee, not on it. And start by keeping this bent knee nice and open. Take a moment to establish the weight in the right leg, gaze ahead, hands on the wall, and then maybe just one hand resting on the heart center. We can feel ourselves breathing, maybe even feel heartbeat, connecting to our breath, as well as being focused, gazing ahead softly. Perhaps today you can bring the palms together, but if you start to wobble, then just simply take one hand back to the wall behind you or at the side as a way of stabilizing. The longer you hold, the deeper the benefits, but only if that's feeling comfortable. Aim for another deep breath here. And then if you've still got one hand on the wall, that's fine, because the other hand's going to gently bring the knee in, carefully straighten and release. And shake it out. Shake the arms, shake the legs, roll the shoulders forwards and back. That's it. Fantastic. Well done. Well, you might be feeling tired. We've done a lot already, but I thought it would be nice to relax the face. So if you're tired, you're going to enjoy this. And this is known as the goddess pose. And it's a way of releasing all the tension from your face. When we think about yoga, and if you've been doing quite a bit of yoga with me, traditionally we tend to, even in the West, think, oh, well, that means the breath and the body. But do we ever think about the facial muscles needing to do yoga as well? Well, our face is a manifestation of our feelings, how we may be feeling inside, and also if we're tired or lack energy. And what this pose does, it brightens the face. It's a little bit silly, but actually, on a really serious note, it's stretching the muscle of the tongue, which is one of the biggest muscles, if not the biggest in the body, and it's stretching all of the facial muscles, so they get a workout too. So I'm going to be the first person to do this. Now, if you're on your own doing this, don't worry, I can't see you. So if you're feeling a little bit self-conscious, we'll do it together, okay? But nobody else can see. And it's just a little bit of fun. It's also a pose in its own right. So garland pose, or goddess pose rather, we come into what is known as a squat. So if you find squats difficult, you can always go against the wall, flat back against the wall, your toes are out and your heels are in. Now let me show you the position of the feet. That's quite important. So you can be on your mat or by the wall, toes out, quite wide, heels in. And then you bring the knees over the toes, but not for long, okay? So that's the stance we want, a wide-legged squat. It looks a little bit like the horse pose, which we do start in. Now I'm going to go against the wall so that my back feels protected and I can get a little bit lower down, but don't feel you have to. Here we go. So I'm against the wall, my toes are out, my heels are slightly in, and I'm in a very wide-legged squat. Just do what you can. Hands start at the prayer position. Take a deep breath in here. Now you probably can't see me that well, so I am now going to move you forward so that we can do the facial exercises together. Our face is part of our yoga, remember, part of our yoga practice. Palms come out in the cactus position. So I squeeze the shoulder blades back, open the chest. I'm going to open the mouth, look up towards my third eye, space between my forehead, and stretch every muscle. And relax. Come up, shake it out. Now I told you it would look a little peculiar, but every single muscle, my face gets a stretch, my tongue does. And do you know what? That's really good for facial tension when we're holding a lot of tension here in the jaw. And we're all doing that whether we know it or not. Consciously, subconsciously, a lot of us hold tension in the jaw. It's only human. Should we do it again? So, wide-legged, the goddess pose. Palms up, squeeze the shoulder blades back, open the tongue, and a big sigh. Stretch every single muscle. And if you can, look up towards your forehead. Here we go. And relax. And you might need to wipe the chin. And it makes you laugh, doesn't it? So shake it out. We're going to do that once more. So I hold that for as long as I can. And just remember, you're giving your whole face a workout. Last time, yogis, nice and wide. You see, you're smiling now, I can see. Garland pose. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. You're going to stretch in here, in the legs. You're going to stretch in the upper chest. And let's breathe and hold. There we go. Well done. Relax. Shake it out. Now, believe it or not, your tongue doesn't usually get that stretch. You know, it's so good. And I bet if I could see you now, you all look 5 years younger. Well done. And if nothing else, it makes us laugh, doesn't it? And that's not a bad thing in these times, to have a laugh. We are now, and you have earned this, time to relax. But we're going to do a seated relaxation, okay? So we're going to work on not only the chakra points as we lie down, and sit down, but also just do a little seated relaxation. So grab your block or your cushion, join me on the mat, but not lying down, yogis. So I'm going to grab my block. There we go. And then place that either against the wall if you're working by the wall like me, or so that you're comfortable. Now I'm sitting cross-legged, but if that's a no-no for you, then by all means sit with the legs extended. But I want you to sit upright so that A, we don't slump, and B, just acknowledge this is a seated relaxation, okay? Now that so you're a little nearer, there we go, all right? So I'd like to have you as near to me as possible. We are doing this together. We are a big group of 12 today. Thank you all for joining me. And let's sit quietly just for 5 minutes. We've got about 4 or 5 minutes. Now I'm sitting cross-legged. Remember, you can sit with your legs extended, but just keep the spine tall. We're going to close our eyes and our mouth. We're going to relax our shoulders. We're going to rest our hands on our thighs or our lap. We're going to draw the awareness back to our breathing. Now that the face is relaxed, notice if the jaw, even the facial muscles, feel more relaxed, released. Perhaps the hint of a smile, remembering that last exercise, and a little bit of joy and relaxation it can bring to the facial muscles. Not forgetting that our face is an integral part of our practice, and that should be stretched and relaxed and energized as well as the body. So just quietly take your awareness to your breathing. A soft, steady breath, but you may be noticing that you're aware of the breath just quietening down, so the breath finding its own rhythm, but still maybe a harder breath or a faster breath, having only just completed your exercises. So that breath may be just slowing down now, returning to a more natural, relaxed rhythm. Perhaps you're aware of the heartbeat. Notice if your body feels warmer, if your muscles, tendons, limbs feel more loose and open now. And just be aware of the whole body quietening down in this seated relaxation. Let's take the awareness to what we call the root chakra, which is at the base of the spine. And I simply want you to take a couple of deep breaths into the root chakra, into this energy center at the bottom of the spine, and have the intention of relaxing the whole base of your spine. Even as we sit, we can sit tall. Energy moving up and down the spine far more efficiently now as we breathe. Then take the awareness to the abdomen. Breathe in and out of the abdomen, breathing into this energy center known as Manipur, the chakra point at the belly or just below the navel. Often known as the city of jewels, where we take energy and spread it into the whole of our body through digestion, through elimination. Breathing softly into your belly. And then shifting your awareness up into the heart center, midway between the sternum. And breathing softly into the upper chest and heart center. Breathing joy and light and love into the heart center. An intention of love and mindfulness here. Gently shift the awareness up into the throat now, yogis, into the throat center. I want you to swallow and notice any taste there. Center of purification and speech. And just breathing and relaxing into this energy center, the throat chakra. Vishuddhi chakra, center of purification and speech, the throat chakra. And then moving up in between the eyebrow or the brow center known as the third eye. And just take your awareness to the brow and relax this energy center, the brow center, the third eye. And finally, yogis, just shifting the awareness to the top of the head where the hair starts to grow, and breathing into this, the sacral center, center of consciousness, of acceptance, of universal consciousness, and taking a few breaths into the top of the head, as if the energy there could also be felt, an intention of breathing into the top of the head, the final energy center. And finally, yogis, let's now take 5 slow breaths into all the energy centers, the base of the spine, the abdomen, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the top of the head. And now these energy centers flowing more freely, the energy moving more efficiently through each one. Whole body energized now. Whole body. And just take a few more deep breaths here. Feeling, imagining how the energy is far more balanced throughout the whole body now. All of the chakra points balanced and even, as we just take our awareness to each one and know that there is more harmony and balance, not only throughout these centers, but as manifested into the whole body now. As we breathe, whole body more energized, more balanced. Take a deep breath in now. And as you exhale, just gently open the eyes back into the room. Welcome back. And let's join together, raising the arms, bringing them back to the heart center. And take a moment to wish yourself and the person or cause you dedicated the practice to, bring them back to mind and wish them well. Om Shanti Peace. Do go well, yogis. And perhaps I'll see you on a mat soon, or maybe at coffee for 2:15 for our Q&A session. But if not, go well. And thank you. Om Shanti. Bye for now.
Thanks, Rachel. That was lovely.